We have actually explained that pillar in a previous lecture, but we're going to briefly highlight it, inshallah, in order for our brothers here and sisters to be following up with us, inshallah. So, Islam has been built up upon 5 pillars. We said that Islam is the religion of all the prophets and messengers of God, from Adam to Jesus Christ. So the religion of Adam is Islam. The religion of Abraham is Islam. The religion of Moses is Islam. The religion of Jesus Christ is Islam. And so is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His religion is Islam. And this is a fact recorded in the Quran, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Imran, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. So this is an undeniable fact. Islam is the religion of all the prophets and messengers of God. That's why, brothers, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, Prophet Joseph, when making supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recorded in the Quran, Yusuf said, توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين. توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين. So this indicates clearly that Prophet Joseph himself was a Muslim. So all the messengers and prophets of God were Muslims. So what is the meaning of the word Islam? What does Islam mean? We said that Islam means submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all are the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all are the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we must submit to His orders. We must act upon His orders and keep away from His prohibitions subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the point right now is, how did we know about His subhanahu wa ta'ala orders and prohibitions? How did we know about His subhanahu wa ta'ala orders and prohibitions? Through prophets and messengers. Through prophets and messengers. That's why subhanahu wa ta'ala says concerning Prophet Muhammad, وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam orders you to do, you must do it. And whatever he sallallahu alaihi wasallam orders you not to do, you must keep away from. You must keep away from. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the heavens and the earth, the creator of everything. So we cannot deal directly with Him. He can't talk to us directly, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This can't be accepted at all. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Jibreel alayhi salam to be the medium between Him and His prophets and messengers. So if He subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to say anything to a prophet and messenger, this would be through Jibreel alayhi salam. Through Jibreel alayhi salam. So Islam means submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, that's good. And we said that our religion, which is Islam, is of 3 ranks. We have what's called Islam, and we have what's called Iman, and what we have is called Ihsan. Yeah, that's it. We have Islam, and we have Iman, and we have Ihsan. So what is the difference between the 3? All of us, alhamdulillah, are Muslims. All of us are Muslims. But not all of us are believers, are mu'min. Why? Because Iman is a level which is higher than Islam. Iman is a level which is higher than Islam. And Ihsan. And there may be some mu'mineen, some true believers, but they are not muhsineen. Why? Because Ihsan is a level which is higher than Iman. Which is higher than Iman. When the slave reaches the stage that he worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Almighty as if he sees Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he is a muhsin. And the ihsan is the level of the prophets and messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the ranks of our religion: Islam, Iman, and Ihsan. So here in that hadith, the Prophet says Islam has been built upon 5 pillars. Number 1, testimony of faith. Testimony of faith means that one must testify that there is no God deserving to be worshipped but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad is his messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And by the way, brothers and sisters in the back, if one's last word in life is the testimony of faith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit him into the paradise. If one is about to die in the agony of death, and his last words was Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit him into the paradise. This is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Man kana akhiru kalamihi min ad-dunya la ilaha illallah dakhala al-jannah. Any person whose last speech in that world is there is no God but Allah the Almighty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit him into the paradise directly. So testimony of faith, as I said right now, to believe, to testify, to bear witness that there is no God deserving to be worshipped but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad is the messenger of God. We said, what if someone says there is no God but Allah? I agree on that, but I disbelieve that Muhammad is the messenger of God. Is he a Muslim?
No.
He is not a Muslim. He is not a Muslim. Because in order to be a Muslim, number one, first step is that you must testify that Allah is the only God deserving to be worshipped, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. Okay, I testify that Allah is the only God, but I do not believe in Muhammad. I believe in Jesus. I believe in Moses. I believe in Ishmael. I believe in Abraham. I believe in Noah, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Okay, you are not a Muslim. In order to be a Muslim, you must believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You must believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this concerning the testimony of faith. Number one. Number two, the second pillar, prayer. Brothers, prayer, salah, is considered the most important pillar of Islam after Shahada. After Shahada. Prayer, what is the meaning of the word prayer at the very beginning? Salah. Prayer. Which is salah in Arabic. What is the meaning of the word salah? Salah. The word salah means dua. You know that? The word salah means supplication. Salah means dua, supplication. Dua. Which is supplication. Why? Allah in the Quran says to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Surah At-Tawbah, وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. This means that make supplication to them, O Prophet, because your supplication to the believers will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them. And this subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them. Okay, so this was the meaning of the word salah. Okay, so salah means dua or supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why even in prayer, all of your prayer is supplication. All your prayer, you start with Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar is called supplication to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Surah Al-Fatiha is some kind of supplication. Even when you bow down, it's supplication, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim. Even if you prostrate, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, this is called supplication, dua. Even when you make supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you money, to bless your wife, to bless your family, this is supplication. So, salah in its entirety is dua. Salah in its entirety is dua. Everything in prayer is dua. Okay. Prayer was prescribed in heaven. In heaven during Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. It's called the night journey. Some English translated it as the night journey. You know, this is one of the miracles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. You know about it, right? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was taken from Al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca to Al-Masjid Aqsa in Palestine, and then he sallallahu alayhi wasallam ascended to the heaven. When in the heaven, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed prayer upon him. And in the very beginning, how many prayers did he the Almighty, prescribe upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this ummah? 50. Great. 50 prayer. Huh? But when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was coming down, he met with Prophet Moses. He said, "Oh Muhammad, what did your Lord prescribe upon you and on your ummah?" He said, 50 prayers. He said, "No, go back to your Lord and ask him to reduce the number, because your ummah will not act firmly upon that number." So the Prophet ﷺ ascended once again to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asked him to reduce the number of the prayer, one more and one more and one more, until he subhanahu wa ta'ala made them just 5 prayers every day. 5 prayers every day. In the Quran, حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى. حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى. Brothers, do you know? The Quran contains 73 orders. 73 orders to Muslims to make salah and give zakah. To make salah and give zakah. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. 73 orders to make salah and give zakah. To make salah. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Both together. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Okay. So, do you know that the main difference between Muslims and non-Muslims in the prayer? This is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet said, if you want to know that this man is a believer, is a Muslim or not, look whether he offers prayers or not. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة فمن تركها فقد كفر. The main difference between Muslims and non-Muslims is prayer. So whoever leaves the prayer is a non-Muslim. Whoever leaves the prayer is a non-Muslim. So in case you ask someone and say, brother, come to the mosque to pray, and he's going to say, well, there is nothing which is called a prayer. What is prayer? He denied prayer. So if he denies prayer, he denies one of the pillars of Islam. If he denies prayer, he denies one of the pillars of Islam. So we must keep on prayer. We must perform and offer prayer on time. So that's a point. Another important point, which is that, do you know that prayer is the first thing? What is the first thing that a man will be held accountable for in his grave? Huh? Prayer. Prayer is the first thing man will be asked about, will be held accountable for in his grave. The angels are going to say, what did you keep on prayer? Did you offer prayer on time or not? So prayer is the first thing. Prayer is the first thing man will be asked for in the grave. Great. So, as I told you right now, we have 5 daily prayers. We have 5 daily prayers. Salat al-Subh, and al-Dhuhr, al-Asr, al-Maghrib, al-Isha. And this is the last point I'm going to highlight today, inshallah. Do you know that? The time from Fajr to Dhuhr, this period of time, if you commit a sin, you pray Fajr down, and then after praying Fajr, you might commit sin. All of us are liable to commit sins. We are not protected from committing sins. Just the Prophet and Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you commit sin after Fajr and then comes to the mosque and pray Dhuhr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove that sin. Allah will remove that sin. Okay. And if you commit sin after Dhuhr prayer, and come to the masjid and pray Al-Asr, Allah will remove that sin. And if you pray Al-Asr and then commits a sin between Al-Asr and the Maghrib and then comes to the mosque and prays Al-Maghrib, Allah will remove that sin. And if you, after praying the Maghrib, commits a sin and then comes to the mosque and prays Al-Isha, Allah will remove that sin. The question right now is that, do you think that after removing all of these sins, do you think that a man will have any sins in his day? No. His sheet will be very white. His sheet will be very white. And this is the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأَقِمُ الصَّلَاةَ طَرَفَيِ النَّهَارِ وَزُلَفًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ إِنَّ الْحَسَنَاتُ يُذْهِبْنَ السَّيِّئَاتِ. One day, and this is a sahih hadith, a companion came to the Prophet ﷺ and said to him, "O Messenger of God, I did so and so and so with that woman. I kissed her and I hugged her, but I didn't have sexual intercourse with her." The Prophet ﷺ didn't answer him. It was the time of Al-Asr. And then the Muazzin say Allahu Akbar to indicate that it is the time of Al-Asr. Then the Prophet ﷺ offered Al-Asr prayer and say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And then Prophet said, "Who is that man who asked me about so and so and so and so?" The man said, "Me, O Messenger of Allah." Then Prophet said to him, "Have you prayed Al-Asr with us?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Allah has forgiven you." And Prophet recited the saying of Allah, إِنَّ الْحَسَنَاتِ يُذْهِبْنَ السَّيِّئَاتِ. This means that, brothers, sisters, please firmly adhere to offering prayer on time. For this is the most beloved act to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ was once asked, "What is the most beloved act to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?" He ﷺ replies, "To offer prayer on time." So, do you have any questions? Yes.
Is on time also like a really important thing? Or can it be a little late?
What?
Is on time like super important, or can it be like a little late? Like, so for us, for when Zohar is, I have classes, Zohar and Asr, and if I can't offer them,
Jama, combine them together?
yeah.
Okay. Combination of the two prayers is allowed in Islam? Yeah.
He's asking if he can pray Dhuhr late because he has class at the time of Dhuhr.
Some scholars say it's permissible. Some scholars say it's permissible. But unless there is a necessity, you must offer prayer on time. Because, brother, I'm going to tell you a very important thing. For example, the period between Maghrib, this is Maghrib. And this is Isha. So, we have, for example, 1 hour. 1 hour between Maghrib and Isha. Okay? So, I'm going to divide it like that. 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, and 15 minutes. Concerning the first 15, scholars say that it's the most recommended time for the prayer to be offered in. Okay? It's the most virtuous time at all. So, that's number one. Number two, scholars say, in the second 15, scholars say, it's what's called the permissible time. Permissible time. It's still okay to pray in them. The third 15, scholar says, now it became detestable because you have delayed your prayer. And the last 15 is called the forbidden time. The forbidden time. Why? Because you were not forced to offer the prayer to that time. To that time. Because now the time of Isha has approached. So, if you offer prayer on time, this is the most beloved act to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. Yes.
When you miss Jummah.
Jummah, if you miss 3 Jummah, this is considered a major sin. This is considered a major sin. Unless there is a necessity, and you miss Jummah, 3 Jummah, this is a major and a grave sin in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes.
What kind of necessity?
Necessity is estimated in by your condition. You are the one who can say, I have a very big necessity that prevents me from attending prayer.
So if I'm in school,
No. No.
if I'm at work,
So, this is the nature of that country. This is the nature of that country. So, you are obliged. This is the big necessity, by the way. And you can pray Zuhr, 4 rakat, 4 rakat. Yes. Muhammad. Adam, please. Doctor.
Okay, the necessity you're talking about. What about somebody who drive like truck? He be on the road.
Like what?
Someone who drive truck.
A truck.
Yes.
Yeah. Drive a truck?
Like nusana.
Yeah.
They have like trucks.
You can pray in the nearest mosque to you, in the nearest masjid to you, if you are able to do so.
If not,
and there is any availability for you, possibility for you to offer prayer in any place, because all the land, Muslims are allowed to offer prayer in any place on the surface of the earth, as long as it is pure. There is no excuse for prayer. There is no excuse at all. Scholars say like that. Even brothers, at times of fear, at times of wars, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala learned Muslim how to make prayer, which is called Salatul Khawf, prayer of fear. And He subhanahu wa ta'ala described that in Surah An-Nisa. Even if one is sick and he is unable to stand, the Prophet ﷺ says that he must offer prayer or pray when lying, when sitting. Even if he is unable to lie or sit, he can make prayer with his eyes. Even if he's unable to make prayer with his eyes, with his heart. With his heart. Okay? Muhammad, yeah.
Can you explain more the last 15 minutes? You said it's forbidden time.
Forbidden time.
So does that literally mean you cannot pray if you need to pray the salah? Or
No.
does it mean
You should pray.
Okay.
If you come to that point. But you will be blamed for delaying the time of that particular prayer until the time of the second prayer of the next one has approached. So this is some sort of encouragement to Muslims to offer prayer on time, in the very beginning of the time.
and where?
Yes. Yeah.
And where? You say that to offer the prayer on time.
On time.
Where specifically? Like home. If you are working, do it at work. But if you are home, can you do it at home while you still can come to mosque and do it? Or?
Okay. This is a good question. We have what's called Salatul Jama'ah, which is congregational prayer, and individual prayer, Salatul Fardi. Salatul Jama'ah, attending prayers in mosques, according to some scholars, it is obligatory, as long as there is nothing that prevents Muslims to attend the prayer in mosque. Other scholars say it is recommended. It is recommended, not obligatory. So, we are going to take with the easiest opinion. Okay, Muslims, you are allowed to offer prayer at home. But what is the best? To offer it in mosque. Because as you know, if you attend the prayer in mosque, in a congregational prayer, you will be rewarded, you will have 27 degrees more than if you attend it individually. 27 degrees, according to a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and other hadith said 25 degrees. 25 degrees. And on the day of resurrection, all of us will be in a dire need for one hasanah, for one good deed. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the disasters that man will face on the day of judgment, He subhanahu wa ta'ala says a very impressive and a very fearing verse, very frightening one by the way. He subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ I will flee away from my brother. I will flee away from my father and my mother. I won't know my wife. I won't know my children. None on that day of judgment will pay any attention to anybody but himself. I want to be saved from that day. So, if attending prayer in mosque, in congregational prayer, is very important and very basic Islam. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
The far video, I don't know where was it, but people are having a gap between them because of coronavirus, I think, going on. So is that okay to
have a gap between?
Yeah. This is a necessity, by the way. I'm going to tell you this is a good question. The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, because all of us are brothers, once in prayer and once standing, is to touch each other. Because Sallallahu said, if you touch each other, Allah will show mercy to you. This is a hadith for the Prophet ﷺ. If you touch each other, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show mercy to you. Okay, but now there is a necessity which is COVID-19, for example. And I might feel that I might be infected by the one. I don't know whether he is free from that virus or not. So scholars say it's permissible. And by the way, some mosques throughout the Arabian region, through the Arab region, started to apply that idea, which is to take a distance between each other and to offer prayer. That's okay, and that's good, by the way. Yeah. Any other question?
So for the 1 hour you said between Maghrib and Isha, I would like to know, is it the same period after each prayer? Like the lapse of time for every single prayer, is it different or is it the same? Or?
Different. It's different. For example, if the time between Dhuhr and Asr is 2 hours, so this will be 30. Yeah? Yes, sure.
So for the last time, for the last 15 minutes, is the prayer going to be accepted by God?
It will be accepted. It will be accepted, but you will not have the same degree like that one who offered the prayer on its very beginning. Yeah. Any other question? Yes.
For Salatul Isha, is it best to do it at the beginning of the time or make it?
Salatul Isha, this is a good question, by the way. Salatul Isha is it's recommended for Salatul Isha to be offered to delay it. Okay? But if you delay it, you should be in congregational prayer. Like, we're going to say, for example, Al-Isha is at 8:29. Okay? We'll agree, all of us, to come to it, for example, at 10. This is the sunnah. This is the sunnah. Okay? Of the Prophet. But all of us have to go to work in the very early morning, have to do so. So there is no problem at all to pray as we agreed upon after 15 minutes. Yeah. Any other question? Yes, Bashir.
So is it like the same thing as like if somebody have like something else to do, then if he intentionally postpones as a prayer?
This.
For example, he intentionally prayed like late.
So this is I said that this is a big sin, great sin, major sin. Yeah. So shukran.
If you come to Juma,
Yeah.
okay, and then you didn't get the last ruku.
We are going inshallah to highlight these points on fiqh. On fiqh inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Okay. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to admit all of us into His paradise and to shower us with His mercy subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is fully able to do so. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.